I am a undergraduate student at Tulane studying neuroscience.
Nice.
I definitely don't do a lot of big lies. I would say I do one or two lies a day, pretty small lies.
Hello, my name is Ellie. So for the first question, how much do you think you lie a day? If I had to think about it, maybe like 5 or 10 times a day. They're not big lies, like small lies that you don't even notice you're saying. Lies like, yes, I clean my room, or I work in customer service. So sometimes when we're about to close, a customer wants to ask if there's something in the back, and instead of having to walk all the way, upstairs, we just say that we don't have it, not knowing if we have it or not. There's small lies like that, like everyday lies. That sounds kind of mean, but yeah, they're like little fluffers.
Zero? Or like probably one. I don't know.
My name is Tom. I'm a student at Cornell. Um, a few times. I mean, I'd say I lie. Yeah, I'd say I lie a few times a day.
I think a lie could be justified if it's not intended to harm another individual, such as a white lie or something that doesn't have long-term effects on an individual. Whereas like other lies, like lying about your intent behind something or lying about your background, could be actually harmful and put people in dangerous situations, and um, those are less morally allowed.
Yes, I definitely think that lies are justified. Lies that help not hurt other people's feelings, most importantly. Sometimes when you can spare somebody's feelings and say a little white lie, then I think it should be done. Like telling somebody that, their dress looks good when they visibly seem very happy that they got a new dress. It's like helping people. I think that they're justified as long as they don't cause harm. Any harm to people, or lies that do more good than they would do bad.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Is it ever okay?
No. Because if you lie, then you would get in timeout, and yeah.
Lying is justified if it reduces. I feel like this is a bit arbitrary, but I feel like lying is justified if it is in an attempt to lessen suffering.
A lie's okay when, like I said before, it doesn't intend to harm and it really doesn't and it doesn't serve any malicious purpose, such as a lie like, "Oh, I had a good time at your birthday party," or something like that doesn't really have malicious intent. In fact, like a lot of white lies can have really good intent, like, "Oh, you look great in that." That's okay.
I mean, if you think about it from a moral standpoint, you don't think, oh, they're a good person, because sometimes they say little white lies. Lying in general is not good behavior per se, but sometimes, like I said before, some lies have to be said in order to help people with their feelings. But I think that lies that are never justifiable are, of course, lies that cause emotional or physical damage to people. Lies like, for example, cheating on somebody. That's a very big lie that causes not only immediate damage, but damage to people's self-esteem in the long run. And lying to somebody, that lies that could be prevented, like lying to somebody, telling them that you love them when you don't. Same thing as the cheating thing. It causes harm, you know?
Nothing.
Why?
Because you should never ever lie.
A lie is okay if it is for good.
White lies are definitely better than bigger lies because they don't intend to harm and they don't have as long-term impacts. I feel like what defines a white lie is that it's really meaningless in the moment. It kind of has less consequential effect than a big lie, which, big lie could actually cause a lot of issues down the line.
I'm going to say that white lies and bigger lies could sometimes be on the same scale because a white lie could very easily become into a bigger lie. We've all been in that situation where you say a very small lie and it turns into this big, big thing. So, no, they should be prevented at all costs unless they're small lies that help people, that won't cause any harm and won't lead to bigger lies.
Yes.
Do you think they're better than bigger ones?
Yes.
Why?
Because bigger ones is a problem.
I mean, a white lie is generally something that's not worth lying about. I mean, I understand the value in just not answering a question you don't want to answer with a little white lie, but usually that's just more harm than good.
So, lying to get your friend to a surprise birthday party is definitely better than lying as in plagiarizing. Because one is taking credit for something that you don't have credit for, and that's basically stealing. That's not correct. And then one has the intent to later reveal your lie, so it's not a long-term lie, it's a little white lie. And also it has the intent to make the other person happy, and the people who know about the lie will be informed really soon about the lie. So it really has inconsequential effects on the well-being of that person.
So, for lying to get somebody to a surprise party, that's a perfect example of a little white lie that doesn't turn into anything bigger and that is to help people. That's a perfect example of a little white lie. And taking credit for somebody's work should never be justified because it causes harm to the other person. It's their work, it's their time, and by you taking credit for it, it causes damage for them, and it's a lie that should not be said.
Both of them are bad, I think.
Why?
I think.
So you think that if you're having a surprise party and we lie to you that you're not having a birthday party, but you actually are going to have one, it's just a surprise, do you think that's bad?
No.
Why?
Because.
Because why?
Because.
Okay. So if you did all your schoolwork and somebody else took credit for your work, do you think that's bad?
I don't even know what credit means.
Like, so they're going to say, like, the work that you did, they're going to be like, no, I did that.
Yeah, that's bad.
Why?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say that clearly the lying because you want credit for someone else's work isn't justified. That's just you being selfish. And then lying to get someone to a birthday party, well, you are telling them a short-term lie so that they will have a fun time and they will know the truth. So, no harm done.
A lie that was intended to keep you safe, especially such a inconsequential one as telling the cab driver you're going to meet friends. is definitely okay morally, because it is not intended to create harm for anyone, and it's more intended to help yourself, and not in a selfish way, but in a self-preservation way when you're scared, and that would be okay.
Also, definitely, even if that has to be a big lie, I think lies that keep you safe should be prioritized. Telling a sketchy cab driver that you're meeting friends, I think we've all said lies that keep us safe before, and you wouldn't take it back for the world. Your safety is number one, no matter what lies you have to say. As long as it doesn't harm another person, but it's always your safety comes first, you know? And for the
Yeah, I think.
So you think lying to keep yourself safe is good?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is absolutely justified. The truth is not necessarily... You don't owe some random stranger the truth. If someone asks how your day is, you can tell them whatever you want. You can... So it's... That's a matter of privacy. You don't... I guess this ties back to the white lies question, but if it's a matter of protecting yourself, protecting your privacy, if you feel threatened, of course it's justified to lie to protect yourself.
I think a world with no lies is pretty unfeasible, and not even something that we would necessarily want, because there are those little white lies that are okay to tell, like, oh yeah, you look great in that, or I definitely remember your cousin from the wedding. And those aren't really that bad, and that's is people trying to connect with other people. So yeah.
a world with no lies at all, would be more blunt. People's feelings would get hurt a lot more. A lot of marriages would collapse. So if you think about it, you know, you always think of that scenario. You always think the wife comes out and she's like, "Do I look fat?" And her husband would be like, "Yes, you look very fat." They would get divorced instantly. So I think not just because of that, but I think a world with lies is better, because definitely, you know, help people's feelings. It keeps you safe. There is a problem with trust. It's harder to trust people, definitely. But I think that judging somebody's character shouldn't be based on lies. They have a bad character through other flaws. So it's just, yeah, a world with lies is definitely better.
No.
I think a world without lies is better because oink oink.
Stop. Because why?
Because it's just good not to lie.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think the source of the injustice in the world is from the lack of honesty. It's the fact that people are allowed to exploit people, and there's nothing dishonest about it. It's just that that's the way that society is. Yeah, no. There is nothing inherently superior about the truth if it's creating more harm in the world. That's it.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
No.
Okay. The end.